What does it truly mean to be rich? We often think of today's tech titans, the Elon Musks and Jeff Bezoses of the world. We marvel at their billions and debate their influence. But their fortunes, when adjusted for inflation, pale in comparison to some of history's most powerful moguls. From ancient kings who controlled entire nations to industrial tycoons who shaped the modern world, these individuals didn't just accumulate wealth, they commanded armies, controlled global trade, and their decisions impacted the lives of millions. Today, we're counting down the 10 richest people to have ever lived. We'll explore their strategies, their empires, and the incredible, often ruthless, ways they amassed their unimaginable fortunes. Some were born into power, others built their empires from nothing. But all of them achieved a level of wealth that is almost impossible to comprehend. Get ready to rethink everything you know about money and power. Number 10. Cornelius Vanderbilt. Starting our list at number 10 is the legendary Cornelius Vanderbilt. Born in 1794, the Commodore began his career with a single ferry boat. His ambition was boundless, and he was known for his relentless drive and shrewd business tactics. He quickly dominated the steamship industry, building a massive shipping network that made him a force to be reckoned with. But his true genius was in anticipating the future. Seeing the rise of railroads, he made a massive pivot, selling his shipping lines and investing heavily in what would become the transportation backbone of the United States. He wasn't afraid to use aggressive, and often brutal, methods to acquire rival rail lines. By the time of his death, he controlled the largest railroad network in the country, connecting New York to Chicago. His wealth, adjusted for inflation, would be a staggering $215 billion. His story is a masterclass in strategic thinking and ruthless ambition. Number 9. Henry Ford. At number 9, we have Henry Ford, a man who didn't just build cars, he revolutionized the entire concept of manufacturing. His innovation wasn't the automobile itself, but the moving assembly line. Before Ford, building a car was a long and expensive process, a luxury few could afford. By implementing the assembly line, he drastically cut production costs and time, making cars affordable for the average American. His famous Model T became a global phenomenon, and his company, Ford Motor, became a cornerstone of the American economy. He proved that true wealth comes not just from a great product, but from the ability to produce it on an unprecedented scale, making him a pioneer of mass production. His inflation-adjusted net worth is estimated to be around $220 billion. Number 8. Muammar Gaddafi. Coming in at number 8 is a controversial figure, Muammar Gaddafi. As the longtime ruler of Libya, he didn't just manage a country, he essentially owned it. His immense wealth came from a single, powerful source, oil. By nationalizing Libya's vast oil reserves, he gained personal control over the nation's immense energy profits. While his exact fortune is a subject of intense debate, his wealth was not in a traditional bank account. It was tied to the country's resources and sovereign wealth funds. Estimates place his wealth between $200 and $300 billion, some even higher. His story is a stark reminder that in some parts of the world, power and personal wealth are one and the same, and that control over natural resources can lead to unimaginable riches. Number 7. William the Conqueror. Our list takes a historical turn with William the Conqueror at number 7. He wasn't a businessman, he was a king who built his wealth on conquest. After defeating the Anglo-Saxons and conquering England in 1066, he seized all the land and assets, effectively becoming the sole owner of an entire country. To solidify his control, he commissioned the Doomsday Book, a meticulously detailed survey of every piece of property, every person, and every head of livestock in his new kingdom. By controlling everything from the land to the economy, his wealth, when adjusted for inflation, would be an astounding $229.5 billion. He is the ultimate example of wealth built not by trade or industry, but by the sword. Number 6. Andrew Carnegie. At number 6 is the industrial giant Andrew Carnegie. A Scottish immigrant who came to America with nothing, Carnegie worked his way up from a telegraph boy to a railroad man and eventually to the king of the American steel industry. His company, Carnegie Steel, was at the forefront of the Gilded Age, providing the material for the bridges, skyscrapers, and railroads that built modern America. Carnegie was a master of vertical integration, controlling every step of the steel production process, from the mines to the finished product. He was also a fierce competitor, known for his ruthless business practices. However, he spent the last 2 decades of his life giving away nearly all of his wealth, believing that the man who dies rich, dies disgraced. He funded thousands of libraries, schools, and cultural institutions, leaving a philanthropic legacy that is perhaps even greater than his fortune, which at its peak was equivalent to $310 billion today. Number 5. John D. Rockefeller. Taking the number 5 spot is John D. Rockefeller, a name synonymous with unimaginable wealth. He founded Standard Oil in 1870 and, through a combination of brilliant business strategy and a relentless drive for monopoly, he came to control over 90% of America's oil refining industry. Rockefeller was a master of efficiency. He eliminated waste and used every part of the crude oil he refined. By leveraging his immense scale, he could offer products at lower prices, crushing his competitors. His company's dominance was so great that the government eventually had to break it up under antitrust laws. Despite this, he remained an incredibly wealthy man. When adjusted for inflation, his peak net worth would be a staggering $367 billion. Like Carnegie, he later became a prominent philanthropist, donating billions to education, medicine, and scientific research. Number 4. Jakob Fugger. At number 4 is Jakob Fugger, a German merchant and banker from the late 15th and early 16th centuries. He didn't just deal in trade, he was a financial genius who financed emperors and popes. Fugger built his fortune on the backs of Europe's booming mining industry, particularly silver and copper. He held monopolies on the spice trade, textile production, and was a key player in the silver and copper industries. His most significant business, however, was in lending money to the most powerful people of Europe, including the Holy Roman Emperor, Charles V. This gave him immense political influence. At his death, his fortune was estimated to be around 2% of Europe's entire economic output. In today's terms, that would put his wealth at over $400 billion. He was truly the original investment banker. Number 3. The Rothschild Family. The number 3 spot goes to an entire family, the Rothschilds. This is not a single individual, but a dynasty that built its wealth on a sophisticated and far-reaching banking network. Starting in the late 18th century, Mayer Amschel Rothschild established a banking firm in Frankfurt. He later sent his 5 sons to major financial centers across Europe, London, Paris, Vienna, Naples, and Frankfurt, to establish branches. This created a powerful, unified financial network that allowed them to move capital and information faster than any government or competitor. They financed wars, propped up monarchies, and played a critical role in the Industrial Revolution. Their wealth became so vast and so intertwined with the European economy that their collective fortune is often estimated to be in the trillions of dollars. Their story is a testament to the power of family, trust, and a global, interconnected vision. Number 2. Mansa Musa. At number 2 is a figure whose wealth is nearly incomprehensible, Mansa Musa, the ruler of the Mali Empire in the 14th century. His immense fortune came from his control over the world's largest gold reserves at a time when gold was the ultimate measure of wealth. Musa's legendary wealth was put on full display during his pilgrimage to Mecca in 1324. He traveled with an entourage of tens of thousands of people, including thousands of soldiers and servants, all carrying massive amounts of gold. Historical accounts claim he gave away so much gold in the cities he passed through that he caused a severe economic crisis in those regions due to inflation. His fortune is often considered to be the single largest amount of wealth accumulated by one individual in all of human history. Number 1. Augustus Caesar. And finally, at number 1, stands Augustus Caesar. He wasn't just an emperor, he was the founder of the Roman Empire and the architect of the Pax Romana. His fortune was so immense that it transcended the boundaries of personal ownership. Historians estimate that he personally owned a quarter of the economy of the entire Roman Empire, which at its peak accounted for a staggering 25 to 30% of the world's total gross domestic product. This wealth didn't just include gold and silver, but vast agricultural lands, the revenue from the taxes of millions of people, and total military and political control over an empire that stretched from Britannia to the Middle East. His fortune wasn't a sum of money in a vault, but the total economic power of the most advanced society of its time. In modern terms, adjusted for inflation and economic scale, his fortune is impossible to quantify, but is estimated in the trillions of dollars. He was the richest person to ever have lived, simply because he was the leader of the most powerful and prosperous empire the world has ever known. There you have it, the 10 richest people to ever walk the earth. What's clear is that immense wealth has always been tied to immense power, whether through conquest, monopoly, or political control. While today's billionaires build their empires on technology and innovation, these historical figures built theirs on hard assets, empires, and sheer, often brutal, ambition. Their stories are a testament to the fact that the pursuit of wealth is a constant of human history. Thank you for watching. What do you think is the biggest difference between today's billionaires and these historical figures? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more fascinating stories.